Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. So, what would you like to know about this situation? I don't know. Dr. Corsi is going to be indicted according to his own account in the next couple of days. This started on August 28th. He was served a subpoena. And he claims he's been cooperating with the special counsel, as best as he possibly can, turning over everything, his two computers, Apple computers that he had during leading up to the election, the end of the election, 2016, time machine or something that takes a snapshot of your computer 4 times a month. So basically anything that was deleted would be captured on that, provided access to all his email accounts, handed over all of his tweets. He's met with, I think he's been negotiating with the special counsel, and basically run over this over and over. All right. Basically, they think he, the rumor is that the special counsel thinks Roger Stone, was in contact with Julian Assange or in WikiLeaks, and that basically he may have been the the go-between between Assange and the Trump campaign and Trump himself, and maybe this guy was too, or they're squeezing him to turn on Roger Stone because again they believe that Roger Stone. It's all based on one tweet. Not one tweet, pretty much though, that because he tweeted this in August 21st, 2016, the email stated it will, quote, investigators have honed into a tweet by Roger Stone dated August 21st, 2016. The email stated it will, quote, soon be the Podesta's time in the barrel, end quote. I don't know why they say the email stated, because it's a tweet. So because of that, and that's 6 weeks before, WikiLeaks revealed that they had hacked Podesta's emails and started releasing his emails, something like that. But because of that, they're basically saying that Roger Stone had foreknowledge of the fact that WikiLeaks had done it, so he must have been in communication with that. And according to Roger Stone, he just got that information through associates, through third parties, I think. I forget the dude's name. There's like 9 different people that the special counsel has been interviewing in relation to this topic and as it relates to Roger Stone. And one of them is Dr. Corsi, who, again, like I said, claims he's going to be indicted in the next couple of days, and I have no reason to doubt that, I don't think this is bluster. I don't. And I wouldn't know for sure. I don't know Dr. Corsi. Seems like a nice enough fella to me. He seems like ultra nice, actually. And, I'll play just a little bit of this. I mean, if you've been following this at all, and this has been breaking this afternoon, and you've probably watched the stream, and I recommend you do. It's like the first 10 minutes that he talks about this. Then he goes on to, I guess, talk about the things he was going to talk about for the day, the caravan, Trump, and his visit to France and so forth. So, like I started out, what do you want to know? Well, Roger Stone was he was on InfoWARS this evening, and actually, you know what? Let me start with ABC because Corsi spoke with ABC before he did this live stream, and ABC reports that, but they also report what he went on to say in his live stream. And, when I was reading this, and it seemed like they had, because I think they spoke to him before anyone else, and then he's speaking with, because media outlets were calling him as he was live streaming. In fact, I think he handed his phone to his wife after he got tired of trying to keep track of it and speak to his audience. He said, just call these people back, call them back. So, but when I read this, initially I thought, wow, because there's certain phrases in here that I was like, geez, he's really kind of protecting himself by saying this or, but when you see him say it in a live stream then, and you see him actually say it, it's a little different than reading it. When you read it, it sounds like, wow, there's, maybe he's he's got some issues, but when you see him say exactly the same thing in the live stream, I'll tell you what I mean. Then you understand he's just protecting himself. He has to put these certain phrases into everything that he says, legally, just to protect yourself no matter what, especially given that. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, we've been through this so many times. Most of these people that are getting indicted by the special counsel is because they say something that didn't match what they said previously. And once you're asked a story, just repeat it over and over and over again, with being asked this and that, and then starting over. Eventually, you misspeak or don't say something exactly the same way you said it. The first 30 times you said it, and you end up always. I don't know if you end up getting caught in a perjury trap or whatever it's called. Just misspeaking or just don't remember properly. I don't know if you have the option to just say, I don't want to talk. I don't know if that's an option or not, or just constantly say over and over and over again, I don't remember. I don't recall. That's like somebody was telling me who has been subpoenaed before, that when you basically you say I don't recall, when you don't want to, you just say I don't recall, basically. So, all right. So in the ABC thing, it says here, they seem to think, and this is him speaking to the ABC reporter, who spoke to him on the phone. They seem to think that that I knew in advance what Assange was going to do. I'm not going to go into details at this point, but that was the basis of it, said Corsi. They seem to think that I knew in advance what Assange was going to do. I'm not going to go into details at this point, but that was the basis of it, said Corsi. And as far as I can recall, I had no contact with Assange, and that didn't seem to satisfy them. Okay? That was that phrase, and as far as I can recall. And he actually says this, in his live stream as too. It almost leads you to believe that, I don't know what it leads you to believe. But that definitely jumped out at me when I was reading this before I actually saw his live stream, because initially I didn't watch it all and whatever. But when you see him, you understand that he has to say that just in the event that he literally doesn't recall being in a situation where he had contact with Assange. I don't know, dude. I don't know. So I had two computers that I used. I handed them both over. A time machine that recorded all the emails on my computer in a contemporaneous state, 2016, completely unaltered. After the FBI's visit, Corsi said he and his attorney agreed to cooperate with the special counsel's office and preferred to meet with special counsel investigators to answer their questions. And then it blew apart. And at the end of 2 months, this deteriorates, and after a while, my mind became mush. Corsi said that from there, after 2 months of questioning, things deteriorated between him and investigators. They made it sound like it all fell apart, and they were constantly pressing me on did I have a contact with Assange. And to the best of my knowledge, I never had a contact with Assange, Corsi said to ABC News. And they just couldn't believe that because they said I seemed to know too much about what Assange was going to do. And I said, that's what I do in my business. I try to connect the dots. So they believe because he was able to make predictions, whatever those predictions were exactly, and I think they were rather vague in nature in terms of like indictments coming or, it wasn't indictments coming, but it was some predictions that he made that basically they believed he had to have knowledge ahead of time, and he got that from Assange. That's the assumption, I believe. So while Corsi is not a widely recognized figure, his handiwork in political arena has at times become very well known. Supposedly, he and Trump befriended each other because he wrote a book about the birther movement. And I'm not real familiar with that book, and a couple other books too. Obama Nation. I don't know if that was, I think that was the birther movement. So Corsi's most penetrating smear campaign is the same one that helped forge his bond with Trump. He's widely considered one of the early promoters of the so-called birther movement, which pursued the idea that former President Barack Obama was born in Kenya and not in America. The theory was debunked and widely denounced. Corsi and Trump have long been blasted for not walking back their claims. I just wasn't sure if that was Abomination, if that was the book. I don't think it was. It doesn't really matter. So, but over at the Washington Post, it does talk about Stone, and Stone was on InfoWARS this evening, after this, and speaking to it. Now, I don't know if the Washington Post is cherry picking here. You know what? Before I play that, let me just go ahead and play a portion of Corsi, basically just saying, he's going to be indicted. And you can go and watch it. I'll link it down below. It's an hour-long stream, but again, to the best of my knowledge, the first 10 minutes he specifically addresses this, and he gives you a fairly nice, concise 10-minute description of what's been transpiring for the last 2 months. Climaxing in him being indicted in the next couple of days, and he says, if this goes forward and he was prosecuted and found guilty, it could be like a death sentence for him because he's 72 years old and, could spend the rest of his life in prison. I don't know. I feel bad for the dude. I do. And I would be scared. I would be scared for sure. And, I think Roger Stone's, very used to this stuff, and he's weathered this stuff throughout his entire career, and it's just really tough. I'm sure that Dr. Corsi is no wimp, but, I would be scared. I would be scared for myself, definitely. No doubt about it. So here's what he had to say, just quickly.
At the end of that 2 months, even though I did everything I could to cooperate, the entire negotiations discussions have just blown up. And now I fully anticipate that the next few days I will be indicted by Mueller for some form or other of giving false information to the special counsel or to one of the other grand jury, or however they want to do the indictment. But I'm going to be criminally charged. Now, the subpoena came to my home 3.
Okay, so like I was saying, Roger Stone was on InfoWars speaking about it, and it says, appearing on InfoWars website Monday evening, Stone said that perhaps they have squeezed poor Dr. Corsi to frame me. Stone seemed to lay the groundwork for an effort to undercut Corsi's credibility as a witness. Quote, he has his own demons, Stone said of Corsi. Now, I don't know if the Washington Post is cherry picking there. I know that Dr. Corsi and Roger Stone, I think, have been friends for years, and but that's, in quotes, he has his own demons. And previously, Stone has said one of his most intriguing pre-election comments was inspired by Corsi. All right. And on August 21st, 2016, Stone tweeted that it will soon be the Podesta's time. It will soon be the Podesta's time in the barrel. 6 weeks later, WikiLeaks began to publish online emails hacked from the account of John Podesta, the chairman of the Democratic nominees Hillary Clinton's campaign. Hey. So Stone has said the tweet had nothing to do with WikiLeaks. Instead, he said he was referring to research material he had discussed with Corsi about the links between Russia and John Podesta and his brother, lobbyist Tony Podesta. Corsi has also said he believes Stone's tweet was prompted by his research. On the LiveStream program Monday, Corsi said he had never met Assange and had no connection to him. To the best of my recollection, he added. They put it in quotes. He said that to the extent that he had advanced knowledge of WikiLeaks' plans, he had surmised the group's intentions on his own. There was no conspiracy, Corsi said. I found out what I knew largely from open sources. He promised to share more details in coming days. Stone has previously told the Post that Corsi developed a relationship with Trump over their shared interest in the false theory that President Barack Obama was not born in the United States, the subject of the 2011 Corsi book. So, Stone recalled that Trump asked him around that time, who is this guy, Jerome Corsi? Trump then informed Stone that he had been discussing the subject of Obama's birth certificate with Corsi. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens from this. It's pretty wild, I would say. I don't know, sometimes, I don't know, it's, the midterms just ended. Supposedly, the special counsel's Russia investigation is wrapping up. So why is this happening now? I don't know, dude. I really don't. But that's the story there. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please, I'll tell you this. I mean, I just don't know. I know it seems like Trump is very testy right now. Very testy. And, just with his... because the midterms were largely a success. There's been some disappointments. Arizona's a big disappointment. I expect Florida to be just fine. I really do. Even after the recount, I think the Senate and governor's race are firmly in the Republican camp. I don't think that's going to be changed. There's no way. No way. Arizona's a disappointment. I don't think there was any shenanigans there. I was hearing Mark Levin was basically saying that McSally, well, first off, they had these last minute polling places added, like on the very day in every district, but that helped Democrats. And but supposedly McSally she just didn't mend fences with conservatives after the primary, supposedly, and whatever. It just is what it is. My point is I don't know why Trump has been so testy recently, and it seems like, I don't know if that means something else, like there's something else coming. You got the acting attorney general named, Jeff Sessions, stepping down, but was basically fired. But everyone expected that. And then this. I don't know. But that's the one thing that's got me a little concerned, is that Trump seems a little pissed, and that's not a good sign, actually. I'm sort of willing. I don't want to face that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.